Yo, what up guys, Ross Scalps here, and in this video I'm reviewing The Amateur. Alright guys, so The Amateur. Now this movie stars Rami Malek, Jon Bernthal, Rachel Brosnahan, and Lawrence Fishburne. Now for me, when I saw this movie, I was like, man, looks interesting, right? You know, it's about a guy named Charlie who basically he's a CIA decoder, and after his wife gets killed in a terrorist attack, he goes to the police, but they really aren't going to do anything, so he decides to take matters into his own hands, going after his wife's killers. So going into it, I was like, man, this could be interesting. You know, you have some notable actors in here, along with just a story that sounds cool. But at the same time, I heard that this movie was kind of like a nerdy Jason Bourne. And it's really like a been there, done that kind of plot, right? Some people killed my wife or my family. The cops won't help. I got to do it myself. So, you know, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. And after watching this, it was really just what I was expecting. But let me list some pros real quick. So something I liked was Malek. I thought he did a good job. Him and Fishburne, just their chemistry together, I thought was good. A good dynamic between the two characters, along with kind of like the story and the plot. You know, just Malek using his brain to kind of get back at these people and just to maneuver out of situations and create stuff. You know, create situations to get them trapped in. You know, that was also pretty good. You know, that was cool to watch, right? Entertaining. And even like the storyline with the police and how that tied back into the story and really how it's resolved at the end. I thought all of that was done fairly good, you know, for the most part, for what the story had, the script had. I thought all that was done good and it tied together, you know, well. But that's really it. There's not really a whole lot about this movie. Like I said, it's like a Jason Bourne, but just a nerd. Like he's not a fighter, you know, he's just uses his brain more. And so there's not really anything like that. And so for the cons, I have to say the plot help. Like, I understand he's a CIA decoder, but he's that smart. 170 IQ, like, he's really smart. And it's just crazy, like, some of the technology that they had. Dude was wearing a mask, could barely see him, but they can do a 3D scan using dash cams and, like, nearby cameras to do a whole 3D scan and get a good picture of his face, like... I mean, maybe come on. But even besides that, you know, this movie's kind of a slower burner. You know, it's 2 hours and 3 minutes, and I feel like it goes by well, but there's some just parts that drag, and I don't know. For me, it kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit. And I mentioned Jon Bernthal was in this movie, but he was barely in this movie. He was like at the beginning of the movie and then at the end for like two scenes, and his character didn't need to be in here. Like, there's no point. They should have had him have better arc. What's the point of having a character like that if you're not really going to utilize him, you know? And like I said, there's not much action here. The suspense is fine. I mean, it's probably could have been better, but no action. And then I would say it's an underwhelming movie. I think the ending of this movie, you know, he's trying to get revenge, person to person to person. But then by the time you get to the end, I mean, you're kind of just like underwhelmed from what happens. I mean, everything was resolved, but it's just underwhelming in my opinion. I mean, I can nitpick more and more on the cons of this movie, but those are probably the main things. And if I had to give this a rank, I'd probably give it a salty popcorn. I think if you go, you know, you will enjoy it for the most part, right? But not saying you have to go. But anyways, guys, those are just my thoughts. Comment below what you think if you're going to watch this, if you already have watched this, and what your thoughts are. You know, I'd be curious to know. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.